What? For a 12-volt battery for a car? And I thought, hang on a minute, isn't that more than I spent on buying my car and all of the work that I did going down to Le Mans, including a set of wheels and tyres? Good afternoon and welcome to what actually concludes the Benidorm Volvo Prep Le Mans driving miles per gallon challenge video series, because this is about how much I spent on this beautiful green Volvo 850 TDI. And like the first video that I did on this car, this one is also sponsored by AG1. Now, the Macmaster, have you watched his latest video? Have you seen how much his battery is going to be on his Taycan? Anyway, I'll explain it to you after this. Now, you're probably thinking that this video is a bit chaotic and how does Geoff do it? Well, for the last month, I've been using AG1 and they've sponsored this video. Now, that's not the reason I went out and bought a green car, because as you see, I do end up with an orange one. But I need to say, if ever I do put a product inside a video, it's because I'm curious about trying it for myself. AG1 is essentially a powder that you drink with water, and I will get around to doing that osmosis water filter video very soon. It's full of vitamins and nutrients in a highly bioavailable form. That means you don't just pee it down the toilet. And it contains essential vitamins, minerals, botanicals and bacterial cultures and supports daily nutrition. It's not a food replacement. You take a scoop every day to supply your body with good stuff, because we do know that that's actually hard. It definitely is for me when it feels like I'm spending 25 hours a day down the rabbit hole of automotive chaos. And I have genuinely enjoyed feeling like I'm doing something good for my health first thing in the morning before I go out and do my daily skies update or film the latest madness for the channel. So go to drinkag1.com/JeoffBuysCars or scan the QR code and you get a year's supply of vitamin D3 and K2 plus 5 AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. And that vitamin D stuff, super important right now. So back to the video. Right, so we go down to Le Mans. I obviously take my green Volvo. Now, this Volvo I bought to take for the Benidorm Challenge, never got it ready in time, parked it up, used a different car for the Benidorm Challenge, then I used this car to take us to Le Mans, and then we got back a couple of weeks ago. After Le Mans, Lee flew out to New York, spent a little bit of time there, and when he got back to his Porsche, his battery was dead. Again, not the first time this has happened.
And yet again, the battery has gone on it, so I can't open the door. Right, so there's a little key there. There's a little lock under here, and I've got to get that into there. Push it in again. It's hurting my hand. Push it in again. This is ridiculous. Hang on, I'm going to try and switch it on. No, completely dead. If I was at the airport, this would have been a complete nightmare. Right, I'm just going to try and get this off for him. Push it in again. Take that off, that's it. If you pull it, that's it, that's it. Push it in again. Come on. That's it. It doesn't pull out like that. It does pull out. So I'm going to have to let the AA guy do that.
So he phones me and he says, I need a new battery for my Porsche. And I said, you're kidding. That's going to be £40,000. And then he said, haha, no, I just clickbaited you. Only the 12-volt battery. And I said, oh, got me again, you clickbait master. So how much do you think a battery is for a Porsche Taycan? Just the 12-volt battery, not the main battery. And I was thinking an expensive battery for that car is probably going to be around about, well, it's 60 odd quid for a battery for this car. My wife's car's got stop-start technology, and that's more like 250 quid. So it can't be any more than £900 for a battery for his Porsche Taycan. And he came back to me and he said, no, try £2,800. What? For a 12-volt battery for a car? And I thought, hang on a minute, isn't that more than I spent on buying my car and all of the work that I did going down to Le Mans, including a set of wheels and tyres? So let's have a little look at what I spent. So this car ended up featuring in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 videos. And I did a lot of improvement work on it. So I bought the car for £1,100 and it was delivered to my house. Since then, I painted the plastics, touched up the corners, did the front discs and pads, front springs, indicators, fixed the rear door, fixed the boot mechanism, fixed a set of roof rails, added a new set of wheels and a new set of tyres, and I put a windscreen on it, and I bought a starter motor, and I bought all the paint. So there's quite a lot of work that has gone into this car. Video number 1 is buying the car, painting the plastics and doing new discs and pads at the front and new indicators. Video number 1 cost me £49.71 in paint and £204.68 in parts that came with the car or that I had in my shed. Video number 2, we're repairing the locked rear door and making the boot open again, and all that cost me was a little bit of pocket money for my good friend Funky Phil. Video number 3, we do the front springs, changing them from the lowered ones to the standard ones. I replaced all of the interior plastics on the car using the parts car that I got when I bought the Volvo V70R that I bought for Benidorm. Please keep up. Then I did a deep interior clean. That video cost me £237.48. 2 springs, 1 spring mount and some pocket money for Miles, who helped me with all the work. In part 4, we did the headlining, and oddly enough, that was an extremely popular video, mostly because of this bit. That cost me about £20 in materials and glue. In part 5, I went and got a new windscreen. I then got a 4-wheel alignment and then fitted the new wheels and new tyres. Total spend on that video was £125 for the windscreen, £40 for the wheel alignment, and because I got a whole load of wheels done at the same time, those wheels owed me about 100 quid, and a set of 4 tyres, Dunlop Sport Blue Response tyres, good tyres for this car, £299 delivered off of eBay, and they were fitted when the wheels were refurbished. The next video, which was the final video, I added a set of roof rails, once again off the parts car. Then I did an oil change and changed a few bulbs and a few sundry little bits around the car before I set out for Le Mans. Now, that cost me about £60 in oil and bits and bobs. And as I said, the roof rails came off the parts car. So, bearing in mind that Lee's battery is £2,800, the total for my car, all in, purchasing and all the improvements, £2,376. That means I bought my car and did all of the improvement works for less than it cost Lee to replace the battery on his Porsche Taycan. But if we take away the price of the parts of stuff that I had lying around or that came with the car, like the brakes, that means the wheels and tyres have to come off, because I would have done that anyway, because I've got 4 or 5 of these Volvos, and I was already having those done before this car even came along. So you've got to knock £400 off for that, because it didn't really need wheels and tyres. I had those in stock. And then I got £204.68 worth of front discs, pads and indicators that were already with the car. So once you take off that amount of money, that means this car owes me, in pound coins, £1,772.19. That means then £1,772.19. If you add on the cost of my ferry and the cost of my tolls and the cost of my fuel, I bought a car and improved it and put a new set of wheels and tyres on and drove it all the way to Le Mans and got back home for cheaper than the cost of the electric 12-volt battery on Lee's Porsche Taycan. So there we go. That is quite ridiculous. I am melting in the heat. It's an extremely warm day. I'm not quite finished with this car. I'm going to open the door. I'm not quite finished with this car yet. There is still a little bit more to do. And don't tell anyone, but my headlining is starting to fall down. I don't think the duvet from Dunelm was warned that the weather might get up to 32 degrees. And 32 degrees in the air probably means more like 45 degrees on the dark green roof of this car. So what am I going to do next with this car? Well, I've still got the rear springs to replace, and then another road trip. I think another road trip, but there's lots going on with this car on the Adventures with Geoff channel, so make sure you go and check out the Adventures with Geoff channel, because I've just gone and picked up today some new roof bars. Oh yeah, as you're watching on the video, when I was with Funky Phil, the day before I was going away, I wanted to go and buy some roof bars from Halfords, crossbars to go across my roof rails. £100 in Halfords, £100. This afternoon, off of Facebook Marketplace, I bought the exact same set of roof bars. Yeah, fair enough, they need a clean. And 2 bike racks to go on those roof bars for the grand total of £40. 40 quid for these bars and the bike ones that are in the boot. So there we go. Adventures with Geoff, saving you money every step of the way. Yeah, £2,800 for a battery for your Porsche Taycan, and whole car and a holiday for less money. Thank you very much for watching. Well, a lot of nice cars around this weekend, actually. So if you're around on Saturday, get yourself to the 3 Counties Showground in Malvern, because there's some really nice classics going to be there. And I think the weather's going to hold. Great. Have a good weekend. See you later. That was just for camera. I do actually need my phone.